Hey there. What I'm about to tell you might sound extreme, but multiple food security experts are warning of critical shortages expected to accelerate right after October 6, 2025. Now, I get it. That probably sounds dramatic. But after spending the last 2 weeks analyzing supply chain data, I can tell you this: what I'm seeing looks eerily similar to the warning signs that showed up right before the 2020 shortages. Only this time, the signals are stronger, the timelines are shorter, and the risks are greater. So if you're watching this, hit that subscribe button right now, because the 6 items I'm about to reveal could literally be the difference between your family thriving, or just surviving, in the months ahead. And let me be crystal clear, October 6th is not a random date. That's when a perfect storm of factors, transportation bottlenecks, production slowdowns, and rising food costs are expected to collide. In fact, industry insiders already report wholesale orders being restricted. And when that happens, it's only a matter of time before store shelves follow. Remember how fast rice, meat, and canned goods vanished in 2020? Well, supply chain analysts are saying the exact same patterns are unfolding again, only faster this time. So let's break this down. These are the 6 items you need to lock in before October 6th. Item 1, white rice, the survival base. Let's start with the obvious, rice. But before you roll your eyes, let me tell you something shocking. Most people are stockpiling the wrong type of rice. Brown rice may sound healthier, but it only lasts about 6 to 12 months before going rancid. I made this mistake myself a few years back. A year later, I opened my so-called emergency supply and it smelled like old paint. Total waste. But white rice, stored properly, it can last 25 to 30 years. That's not an exaggeration. Both the USDA and university studies confirm it. And here's the kicker: long grain varieties like basmati or jasmine are even better for storage than short grain. They have lower moisture content, which means they last longer and stay fresher. Here's the math. A 20-pound bag at Costco costs under $20. That's about 200 servings of filling, shelf-stable carbohydrates for less than the price of 2 takeout meals. And right now, prices are stable. But bulk orders from large buyers have already surged by over 300% this year. That's the early warning signal. Pro tip: don't just dump a giant 50-pound bag in your pantry. Split it into smaller containers, use oxygen absorbers, and seal them in food-grade buckets or Mylar bags. Do that, and you're looking at a 30-year shelf life. And if you want to diversify, consider wheat berries. Hard white wheat lasts just as long as rice, grinds into flour for baking, and gives you a backup food base. A hand crank mill costs under $50 and turns wheat into fresh bread even if the power goes out. Bottom line? Rice is cheap, filling, versatile, and proven to carry families through extended crises. Stock it now, before prices spike. Item 2, canned proteins, your energy source. Here's where most people make a fatal mistake. When supply chains break, protein vanishes first. In 2020, meat aisles were stripped bare in less than 48 hours. Why? Because your body's demand for protein actually increases during high-stress situations. Studies show stress can raise your protein needs by up to 30%. Without it, you're looking at brain fog, constant hunger, and fatigue. Now, most folks just grab tuna. Don't do that. Tuna isn't the best value anymore. Canned chicken actually gives you nearly twice the protein per dollar, and it tastes fine even cold if the power's out. But here's the real secret: canned beans and chickpeas. A single can gives you 15 grams of protein, plus fiber to keep you full. Combine beans with rice, and you've got a complete protein profile that can sustain you for weeks. And let's not forget military-grade MREs. Modern versions pack over 1,200 calories and 40 grams of protein per meal. I tested one on a hiking trip last month and had energy all day. These aren't the bland rations of the past, they actually taste good now. Here's the rule: store at least a 30-day supply of protein per person. That means about 15 to 20 cans, rotated through your regular meals so nothing goes to waste. Trust me, when shortages hit, protein is the first thing gone. Item 3, powdered milk and eggs, the overlooked essentials. Now, let's talk about the most overlooked survival foods, powdered milk and eggs. I spoke to a family in Nebraska who survived 3 weeks on supplies during flooding. Their biggest regret? Not stocking enough powdered milk and eggs. Not water, not canned soup, milk and eggs. Here's why. These powdered essentials fill critical nutritional gaps that rice and beans alone can't. And the new versions taste shockingly close to fresh. Microfiltered powdered milk and modern powdered eggs can last 10 years or more in sealed cans. 1 container of powdered eggs equals 144 fresh eggs. Think about that. A decade of breakfast security sitting on your shelf. They work in baking, scrambles, and even quiches. I tested it myself, you can't tell the difference. And don't forget powdered butter. Yes, it exists. Shelf-stable for up to 5 years, and it works perfectly for cooking and baking. The key here is rotation. Don't wait for an emergency to figure out how to use these. Incorporate them into your regular cooking now so you're comfortable with the taste and texture. Rule of thumb, 2 pounds of powdered milk and 1 pound of powdered eggs per person, per month. Item 4, honey and salt, the forever foods. Now, here's where things get fascinating, foods that literally never expire. First up, honey. Archaeologists found jars of honey in Egyptian tombs thousands of years old, still edible. It never spoils. It also doubles as medicine, antibacterial, wound healing, and sore throat relief. Second, salt. The human body cannot produce salt on its own, and without it, you face cramps, dizziness, and even life-threatening imbalances. Salt is also how humanity preserved food for centuries before refrigeration. Meat, fish, vegetables, you name it. Both honey and salt are dirt cheap right now. But during the 2020 panic, honey prices tripled in weeks. Salt was selling for $8 a container on Facebook Marketplace. Stock at least 5 pounds of honey and 10 pounds of salt per person. Store them in airtight containers, and they'll last forever. Item 5, cooking oils and vinegar, the forgotten necessities. Here's something most people never think about, cooking oils and vinegar. Global oil supplies are already strained. The war in Ukraine disrupted over half the world's sunflower oil supply. Indonesia has restricted palm oil exports. Stores in some areas already have purchase limits. So what should you stock? Skip extra virgin olive oil, it spoils too fast. Instead, go for refined coconut oil, which lasts up to 5 years, and avocado oil, which has a smoke point over 500 degrees. Both are versatile, both can double as emergency medical or fire-starting supplies. And don't forget white vinegar. It kills bacteria, lasts indefinitely, disinfects surfaces, and even helps with food preservation. During the Texas power crisis, families used vinegar to sanitize when hot water wasn't available. Rule of thumb, 1 gallon of oil per person and 4 gallons of vinegar. Item 6, ready-to-eat meals and MREs, the instant lifeline. Finally, the most convenient lifesaver, ready-to-eat meals and MREs. These aren't just camping food anymore. Modern freeze-dried meals are good enough that even kids ask for seconds. They last 5 to 10 years, require no refrigeration, and some even include self-heating packs that work with just water. Right now, Costco and other suppliers are still selling emergency food buckets at normal prices. But here's the reality, distribution managers are already limiting store orders. That means consumer limits are next. If you've ever been caught in a power outage, storm, or flood, you know how valuable these are. You don't need fire, fuel, or even cooking skills. Just open, heat, and eat. Aim for at least a 2-week supply per household. How to store it all, pro tips. Now, all this food is worthless if you store it wrong. Here's what I learned the hard way. 3 years ago, I spent hundreds stocking rice and beans, left them in original bags in the garage. Within months, weevils destroyed nearly everything. The fix? Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. Done right, your food lasts 20 to 30 years. Add airtight buckets, and you're set. Second, temperature. Every 10-degree rise cuts shelf life in half. Store food in cool, dark places, closets, basements, even under beds. Avoid garages and attics. And finally, rotation. Label every container with the storage date. Use the first in, first out method so nothing goes bad. The cost of waiting. Let's be real. When shortages hit the news, it's already too late. Studies show 70% of consumers rush to stores within 48 hours. Shelves clear out in 3 days, and prices spike overnight. During 2020, rice jumped from $8 to $32. Hand sanitizer went from $3 to $25. People paid triple for basic goods because they waited too long. Don't be that person. Preparation costs a few $100s now. Waiting could cost you thousands, or worse, leave you unprepared when your family needs you most. Listen, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to prepare you. These 6 items, rice, protein, powdered essentials, honey and salt, cooking oils, and ready meals, are exactly what disappeared first in past crises. And they'll vanish again after October 6th. So start today. Add a few extra items with each shopping trip. Store them properly. Rotate them. And sleep better knowing your family is secure. Stay prepared. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next video.